my motherfucking business, my spiritual journey podcast. How you doing? All right, y'all. Listen, I might have to turn the music off. I don't want to keep turning the music down. I don't want to keep. Yeah, we just gonna get rid of the music. All right, y'all. I ain't want the music to hold up my podcast because I'm doing a podcast and we're doing the hey, what's happening? All right, so hey y'all, welcome back to Talk About It Tuesday. So yes, we're normalizing emotional wellness. Absolutely, we're gonna talk about all of them deep down feelings, but not really. But we're gonna talk about exactly what the fuck we need to talk about in that order. Yep. So if you have been here before, welcome to my shenanigans. welcome. How you doing? Thank you for coming, share, like, subscribe. If you ain't never been here before, welcome to the shit. Welcome to the party. Cause let me help you with some stuff. Because I don't really help, but I'm going to help you with some stuff. So with my Spiritual Basics, the podcast, I talk about my spiritual journey. We'll talk about it Tuesday. We're talking about emotional healing and making and normalizing emotional wellness. There's just some shit we need to talk about as human beings that we out here acting like we don't need to talk about. And to be honest, to hold that shit in isn't exactly beneficial to anybody, including yourself first and foremost, who happens to be the star player of your own team in the story of your life. But we ain't gonna talk about it. Yeah, I just brought up a whole bunch of stuff that we ain't gonna talk about, but we're gonna talk about it. So that's what I do with Talk About It Tuesday. So that's just a little bit of, hey, where you been? Listen, I did the trauma masterclass. We opened it to gods and goddesses. That course is ready and set up for July. I had to take some time off. Had to take some time off. We did the trauma masterclass back to back. I had to take some time off. I had to evaluate, see what was going on, and then taking all of that good old time off and evaluating and seeing what was going on with all of the life. I found out that there's some shit that we need to talk about, y'all. Yep, there's some shit we need to talk about. So I be having all types of conversations all over the place. So the first thing that I want to talk about on this particular Tuesday is in my community, we will be having a outdoor community market on June 18th. Absolutely. On June 18th. So if you're not following me on IG and Facebook, you ain't going to find out about it. So follow me on IG and Facebook and find out about it. How you follow me? Come on now. So let me tell you. So on Instagram, Trish_Dean. On Facebook, it's Latricia Dean. Don't ask me why they wanted my whole government on Facebook. We ain't going to talk about it, but I'm going to tell y'all about it. But follow me for the event for June 18th. We will also be having another vendor event on August 20th. You heard me. Yep, we're going to do it twice this summer. Why? Because the community deserves it. The people need to know what you got. And if you happen to be a mompreneur, entrepreneur, dadpreneur, or somebody who is selling something brown in your community and you want to come on over at our community, to come on over. You won't have to pay a fee, but come on over. But that's what we're doing here. I opened that discussion for a lot of reasons because the conversations that I have been having, a lot of these conversations had been surrounding financial abundance and how to achieve it and how to get there and how to get the things you need and how to maintain your cool while you're going through some stuff. So I decided I was going to have a conversation about it. Why not? So the next round of master classes is going to be emotional literacy. Okay, emotional financial literacy. Yes. Why? Because we need to talk about it. So after you go through the trauma masterclass, after you've identified all of the wonderful things that are happening with you, and by the way, the July class is up in the Etsy store right now. But after you go through all of those things, we need to have a conversation about emotional financial literacy. We need to have a conversation about why we scared of our money. Why we scared to spend it, why we scared to save it, why we scared to give it to the people that we feel like don't deserve it, but while we're more than willing to give it to the people that don't deserve it. Yeah, you heard me. So we scared to give it to the people that we feel like don't deserve it, and then we will give it to the people that don't deserve it willingly. Yep, you heard me. Yep, we need to have a conversation about emotional financial literacy. And I'm not saying I'm a guru at that. I just know how to add and subtract very well. I've been doing that for a while. I also know how to locate resources very well. I've been doing that for a while. And I also have figured out on my spiritual journey, minding my motherfucking business and my spiritual walk, that there's some stuff that works for me that can't work for other people because you ain't where I'm at. And it's not being rude, but you literally are not where I'm at. We have to have a conversation that just because some folk feel like they're emotionally well, they're not exactly where they need to be to receive their exact abundance. And I'm not knocking anybody's religion. I'm not saying that your practice ain't real. I'm not saying none of that. I want to make sure that that's all out and clear. I ain't saying none of that. I'm not being discriminatory whatsoever. What I am exactly stating is sometimes what works for me don't work for you because you're not where I'm at. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If you are not emotionally in a space, if you are not financially in a space, if you are not educationally in a space, there are some places that you can't go that I can walk right into freely with no problems. Even magically. I don't know what to tell you. So I didn't get on here to be super, super long with this cast. I just wanted to have the conversation very quickly of emotional financial literacy is something that's very important. How you feel about spending your money, how you feel about saving your money, how you feel about obtaining the money, how you feel about doing the things that you need to do to chase the dream that you want to have is very fucking important to you. And if you continue to put that level of importance on someone else to make it happen, you are going to continue to be upset. You are going, look, you hear me trying to, you are going to continue to be very much upset. This is why. Nobody can live your life better than you. You are the key player on your team. You've always been a key player on your team. There's never been anyone who's received any more of the benefit of your life than you. There is no one who's received any more of the fault of the things that you were unable to do in your life than you. There is no one who has been able to change the way in the direction and where your life was going better than you. Even when you look at the situation from a child to an adult perspective, there is absolutely, did you hear me fucking say absolutely no fraggle rockin' way that you were able to dodge the bullet of receiving the 100% complete benefit of what you put in or out of your life. So now that we've said all of that, what the fuck does that mean? Okay, so this is what that means. When we're talking about emotional financial literacy, we're talking about the level of beratement that occurs when you feel like you failed financially, when you feel like you've missed your mark, when you feel like you didn't obtain the things that you deserved to obtain or was supposed to obtain, or when you were robbed of something or something was stolen from you, or you felt like you missed the opportunity of. Again, did you hear that feeling part? It's how you feel about your money in the different instances and how it came and how it went. How it never showed up, and how it was expected to. All of those feelings have a level of determination on how you manifest in your life. And not everybody can do it the same way. Now you're following me. Now here's follow me some more. Here we go. Now, when we're talking about not everybody can do it the same way, this is where we get into the jealousy tactics of what works for you doesn't work for me. And I don't understand why you out here telling everybody what works for you. Well, this is where I'm at. Just because it worked for me doesn't mean it can't work for you. It just means that you're not on the vibration that I'm on, which means you need to create your vibration with this particular tool so that it can work for you. Yeah, because let's be honest, I had said it in several other lives. I know I said it in several other lives. You cannot live your life based off of the things that someone else is doing, especially if you are not willing or nor have the opportunity to do the same exact thing at the same exact time in which these things are offered. Yep. I had a conversation with kids a few days ago, and I did not realize that the SATs is no longer in a building that you have to blindly go to, clear across town outside of your school district and take that test. I found out that the SATs is something that happens on an iPad now in a classroom in your same building, not clear across town, and better yet, it's not even an all-day event. Yeah, it's a 2-day event. What? You don't even get 200 points for your name no more. Listen, again, my level of information comes from 20 plus years removed out of that educational realm. So again, me talking to a young person now, explaining opportunities of what this life has to offer, it's evolved over 20 years. So I can't tell a kid that passing the SATs and getting into college is something that they should do in this lifetime. I can tell them it was a tool that was useful for me, but how they can figure how the use is of that tool for them is really based on what they got going on in their life at this time. What do you have going on for you that you might need? You know what I mean? That type of level. Or you see where I'm going with that? I want to try to get a really great analogy with that one because I want to be very clear. What's good for the goose ain't always good for the gander, but they both birds. Now you with me? So what's good for the goose ain't always good for the gander, but they're always birds. And when we're talking about the level of experience and we're talking about emotional financial literacy, a lot of the things that we learned was from our parents who had better opportunities, who taught us what they could. And now what our children is learning from us is they have better opportunities and we're teaching them what we can. But are we really? Are you really looking at your emotional financial literacy? Are you looking at how you truly feel about spending your money, obtaining your money, and saving your money? Have you really looked at the barriers as to why you can compare someone else for being so well off and having so many better opportunities without looking at how you're creating those same opportunities for yourself, if not better, in the version in which you need? Yeah, you heard me. In the version in what you need. Because at the end of several days, we all live an individual life. Now, we can clan together. Everybody clan together. We got families, we got friends, we got loved ones, we got people we genuinely give two fucks about more than others. We do. We truly do. The issue is you're still living a very individual life. And in living that very individual life, you have to be very clear in understanding. You have to be very clear in your understanding and your level of financial emotional literacy. Very clear enough. So let's talk about the clearness. How do I get clarity in my emotional financial literacy? Well, first and foremost, are you clearing your trauma? Yes, because money is traumatic. It fucking is. It's traumatic when you have too much of it. It's traumatic when you don't have enough of it. It's traumatic when you have enough of it at a time to bail you out of a thing. It's fucking traumatic. And why aren't we talking about trauma? Why aren't we talking about the trauma of it? Because a lot of the times people don't realize that emotional and financial literacy go hand in hand. When we're talking about how you should build your credit, we have to talk about how you feel about the things you have to do those things. We have to talk about the level of empowerment that you may have or may not have in having to take care of this business. We need to have a discussion very, very clearly about how you're going to live your life, because only you can live it, and you only get a couple shots of doing it the way you want to do it. And most people are like, oh, you only get one shot. No, you don't. You get one shot at that time, at that particular thing, but it doesn't mean that you cannot manifest and create continuous amounts and tries. Yeah. That's all I have for that. Like, I wasn't here to keep y'all on for real. I wanted to bring back some strong points when we talking about it on Tuesday, that we truly shoot ourselves in the foot a lot of the times by the way we approach a situation. Just because you may have to do something today that you did not really want to do doesn't mean that forever stays as bad as today. Some of y'all is going to take a while for that statement. So I want to be clear. Things may not be exactly the way you want them to be financially now, but if you continue to berate yourself in negativity, then you're not going to be able to see the positive way to get to the dream in which you want, and the way in which you need to do it based off of the tools in which you have, or the tools that have been created for you in this moment that you call a trial or a struggle. It's just a thought. Because I be on my emotional financial literacy. I truly do. And I just realized I was just on it today, because there's so many things that we hide from our children. There's so many things that we hide from our friends, our family. There's so many things that occur in some people's day that you would never know. And how do you get to that place where you're still very much living life content and happy with what you want versus dot dot dot. So I want to thank you so much for joining me for Talk About It Tuesday. Leave comments in the comment section. I mean, I'll be back next Tuesday because next Tuesday I'm gonna have way more to talk about. Also, there's so many other things. So let me run these other banners because I want y'all to make sure you check out the Etsy shops so you can get this good glow. I want you to check out my Shade de Jour shop. Here we are. We got that Yoni steam right here. I'm just saying. Just saying. Just saying. Oh, and for the necklace, if you're wondering where I got my necklace from, you can check out where I got my baby butter oil from. Because it's on the same website. Boom. I just shouted out everybody real quick. Also, check out the world's best author right now. A Natural Hair Story. I love her. She's great. Donna. All right. Who else did I forget to shout out? My mother's love. Look, I got stuff just all over, just ready. Mama Love Soap. Shout her out. Also, Visuals by Jay. Look, I love this. Visuals by Jay. Shout her out for waist beads. Is there anybody else that I forget to shout out? Because I want to make sure I'm shouting everybody out. And also, me, myself, and I, the community wash right there. Boom. Got us. Any other questions, comments? No, I'm sorry. But anyway, when we're wrapping this up for the spiritual journey, I wanted to make sure I shouted out everybody. Why? Because there's a lot of things that make a community work, and there's a lot of networks that allow a business to run. And if you are out here acting as if your individual business is the only thing that's on this plane, then that's okay. But understand that it didn't fail because it was not a good idea. It failed because you didn't think of all the things that you possibly could have done in order for your dream to succeed. You accepted a lot of failures that weren't really losses or fails. You accepted a lot of things that really had nothing to do with you. What you did was shoot yourself in the foot and then complained about everybody who tried to help you along the way. And then you can't get mad about the fact that it didn't go the way you wanted. And while you sit in a room by yourself and everybody else is getting all of the things that you asked for. So do yourself several favors. Don't shoot you in the foot. Understand that dealing with a lot of those internal issues help you to see exactly what you're willing to do. It allows you to see things first and foremost of how to dodge things that are unpleasant for you. It allows you to make better decisions on how you spend, receive, and save funds. Emotional financial literacy is not something that's completely separate from living life. It's exactly the component of living life, and it also determines your quality of it. So thank you so much, y'all, for joining me on my Spiritual Walk podcast. Thank you for joining me on the hashtag Talk About It Tuesday. We will be back next Tuesday. I'm trying to keep it at 2 p.m., but we're going to see. We're going to see. And again, see me on my IG. See me over on my Facebook. See y'all. I'm out, y'all. I'm out.